different. Unfortunately, we don't have Zapper, RIP. Don't worry, he's just sick. Coughing up a lung somewhere, I'm sure. But today we're going to just be watching some analog horror, which is different than what we usually do.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
video format.
yeah, new video format. It's a new video format. We might do this again. Hopefully not.
It kind of just depends on how well it works, you know.
Yeah, this might like imagine if this gets like a bajillion views.
I doubt, but you know, anything can happen sometimes.
Yeah, true. All right, so a quick word from our sponsor, me.
Oh my god, no, was dang sponsored, man.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and hype the video. I need the attention, please.
This
I'm
video was
begging.
sponsored by Raid Shadow Legend. Okay, just kidding.
No, don't give them free advertising. They have to pay for that.
Well, I don't know, man.
Neither
Nobody
do I.
plays Raid Shadow Legends, so who even cares?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I've seen
All
a Raid
right,
Shadow,
day
Shadow Legends
8
ad, so I
of
think that game's
squatting in
dead.
this house.
I've seen
Oh,
it
wow,
before.
day 8 of squatting in that house. I wonder what that house has to offer, my friend.
Oh, hey, there's a description. It's a backrooms thing.
Oh, this is the Backroom series?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Uh,
I guess that kind of makes sense.
yeah. This Backrooms found footage documents a subject's survival against the Nesters during a quiet apocalypse. As he navigates this empty world, a single mistake reveals his location to the things watching from the liminal spaces. This analog horror entry captures the eerie calm of a life spent in solitude, from atmospheric ASMR to the tension of setting survival traps. This file explores the nostalgic horror of an abandoned reality. All right, neat.
Did they really
All
have to
right,
put the,
day
what was it? Never mind. Wait, what? I forgot what it was. Never mind. Anyways, I'm just.
8 of squatting in this house. It's been really nice, actually. I've been able to sleep, shower, recharge. I even managed to get the electricity up and running. Not sure for how long. That means I have a working oven, which is really great. I try not to turn on any lights, especially at night, because I don't want to attract any attention to this house. But last night I messed up like an idiot. I leaned against the light switch and I turned on the living room lights, and the house lit up like a jack-o'-lantern. Just for a second. Um, and now this morning I see someone out in the woods, lurking around.
That is not a someone, that is a something.
Oh yeah, it's. I wonder what if it's like some monster, like a serial killer. That's like the only two options, or maybe like Cthulhu or some shit. I don't know.
Probably both.
Yeah, I see you. It could just be passing by. It could be nothing, but, makes me nervous. I haven't seen him in a few hours, but it really makes me uneasy. So tonight, in addition to cooking my favorite meal, chicken parm, I'll be
Hell yeah,
battening
chicken
down the
parm.
hatches, tightening the security, just in case whatever is out there isn't just passing through. First, I need to run out and get some groceries, so let's do that.
The Nester/chicken parm.
Power's on in here. That's good. Let's see. We need a few different things.
think he just like went super early to a supermarket to get this footage? Or do you think he like actually just asked if the manager was willing to keep the power on for like an extra 20 minutes so he could record all this?
I don't
Probably
know.
just maybe went super early is my best guess.
Yeah, probably.
It went on like a not busy day or whatever.
Well, that too. You never know.
It like depends. Did he actually put props in there? Or is he just getting chicken parmesan and filming himself?
I
That's
don't
a
think
real
they
question,
were
I guess.
I don't think they were props. I think he's just filming himself grabbing the
Buying chicken
ingredients.
parmesan. Yeah.
The cow.
The cow?
Yeah, that's a cow. Or
Where?
pays in an apocalypse.
You never know.
Yeah, okay. That makes a little more sense now.
So as I mentioned, I need to prioritize security in this house tonight. I've identified about 3 weak points where an intruder could breach our defenses, and each requires its own special security system, if you will. Weak zone number 1 is the furnace room window. There's no lock on this window, so I've set up a tripwire. And about 7 feet 6 inches away, the average height of a nester, I've strategically positioned a knife upright. When triggered, the tripwire will send the blade straight into the upper chest or the face. Weak zone 2, the basement door. Now, the house is settled pretty unevenly, making this door impossible to keep locked. If a nester enters through here, they'll hear a tape recorder in the next room playing my voice saying the following. Don't hurt me. Don't come in here, please. The recording will lure them deeper inside, right into a sensor-triggered assault. Weak zone 3, the porch passage door. Now this leads directly into the same basement door with the broken locks. When someone opens this porch door, the friction will strike matches against an igniter that I've rigged. The matches will ignite a portable gas tank that's been slowly leaking gas all night, so hopefully burning any nester who tries to breach that passageway. And I've also installed noisemakers on all the door handles, so hopefully I'll hear them coming, and I'll see them coming, and that these traps will keep them out. And I'll be able to sleep
Wouldn't
safely
that just
tonight.
blow up the house or whatever if he's just releasing gas and then fire and then he's just burning them alive? Also, what are nesters? Could you explain that?
I think they might be an original creation for this series.
All right, I'm gonna fillet
Also,
the
do you ever
chicken now.
watch this before?
No, I literally said that
All right, now I'm gonna
I
tenderize it.
watched the most recent episode. A bit of the most recent episode.
This ensures that the chicken is gonna be nice and even all the way around.
Cooking ASMR.
Right.
Apocalypse.
We're gonna put some of this chicken in flour so it absorbs some of the moisture, and so the crispiness will stick on.
I don't know, but won't cooking meat like inform whatever weird creature there is? This is my question.
Maybe it only has a desire for human meat.
Oh,
I don't know, but they can probably still smell it.
just get rid of that.
I'd probably just be eating out of the bag stuff or whatever if I was in this apocalypse or whatever.
Like MREs.
I don't know, just like whatever's in the convenience store.
So
Just
dip
like
the
eat
chicken in the egg batter.
that. Also, how is this not expired or whatever?
I mean, yeah, that would be the most logical, but that'd be a really boring way to live out the apocalypse, you know?
Now it's time
Well,
for what makes the
the
chicken
apocalypse
good.
isn't boring. It's a kind of
Panko. Technically, the
it's the
panko makes it like a
apocalypse. So,
chicken
I
katsu.
guess maybe
some
the
grated
electricity
parm.
still being on is like part of the mystery or something.
That's going to
No, he
caramelize
said
really nicely on the chicken.
earlier that
Now some salt and pepper.
he managed to get the power on.
Let's mix this all up.
Why was the power on in the supermarket? Though, did he turn that on?
And now in the chicken goes.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just asking too many questions.
I mean, isn't that kind of the point with this kind of series, though?
Yeah, you got a point.
All right, now it is time to fry these bad boys up.
Honestly, I would make chicken parm.
It's not good to add the oil over an open flame, but I don't know, I feel like I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get this oil nice and hot.
I don't really into eating meat too much.
Now you know the oil's ready when you dip the chicken in.
Not because I'm like a vegan or whatever, it's just because I just don't think it tastes very good.
Oh, is that ready? That is ready. I'm actually going to lower the heat. That's insane.
Interesting. I'm absolutely just focusing on the window, seeing if
Now, personally, I
the
like
nester
when
is
it's
just gonna come.
very golden brown. I don't like when it's too
wonder
pale.
what the hell
I
it
like when
looks
it's
like.
crispy. Very crispy.
Maybe it's like some kind of weird bird creature?
No, it was literally the clown mask guy. I think that's what the clown mask guy is called, you know?
Could be like the main antagonist guy, though. Who knows?
He did say
And he's like a special nester.
All right, so let's get ready
Oh, true, he
to
could be a special
broil the
guy.
mozzarella cheese on.
Or could just be the base look and the special one's a different thing.
All right,
The
here
hell
we
knows?
go. Now I'm
I
going to
don't
throw
know.
this into the oven and broil it.
You never know.
I don't know, man. I guess if I was in the apocalypse, I'd be pretty bored. But I probably wouldn't cook that if there was like creatures around, because like, I don't know if they have like a sense
I
of
figured
smell or some shit.
while the chicken parm is cooking, I'm going to set
know?
up my sleeping quarters for the night, make a fire, set up my sleeping bag. I was sleeping in the living room before, but to be honest, it's too far from an exit. And given that there was that stranger outside earlier, makes sense to be close to the exit, you know, in case anything happens. It makes it convenient, you know. Kitchen's right here, can make a midnight snack. So I'm gonna set up the fire for the evening. 3-layer base.
But didn't he say he was already releasing gas? Isn't this gonna blow up the house?
I mean,
Also, if he's
it's not exactly gonna be super duper close to the explosive. Was that man wearing khakis underneath his regular pants?
what the hell? That's kind of cursed.
Yeah, a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
so hungry.
Nobody
I'm
wears
so
two
hungry,
pairs of
I'm so
pants. Like what
hungry.
kind of? Do you
Full
think he's
moon
gonna get him
tonight.
through the pants?
And we can't forget the sauce. This particular sauce I
he's-
found
if
is called
he's-
Michael's of Brooklyn. Tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh basil, Italian olive oil, oregano, fresh parsley, salt, black pepper, and nothing else, it says in big exclamation points. I can't read that.
Do you think he's just like insane from being alone all the time? And like made up the nester to have an enemy?
Nah, because we saw the guy on tape, so
Uh, yeah, true. That dismantles my argument pretty quick. He also could just be making
was
chicken parm to stay sane too.
And you always put the sauce on last so it doesn't get soggy. And of course, last but not least, basil.
I know
And
he
that
says
is
he's
it.
sleeping
Bon
near the exit,
appetit.
but also I guess if somebody broke in through the exit, then he'd be kind of cooked fast, though, right?
I'm so hungry. Let's see how this tastes.
How far are we in the video? When trying to see when something scary could happen. It has time marks.
It's amazing.
Does it spoil where the scary part happens?
I am not.
I feel
Chicken
lonely.
parm is forever.
Now let's just watch until something interesting happens.
I mean, yeah, I didn't want to spoil it, I guess.
All that walking around today got me hungry. That guy really freaked me out outside.
Duh.
I think that anxiety just takes a lot out of me. I'm glad I made two. There's like nothing like really good chicken parm. So you really have to tenderize it and flatten it out so it becomes more like a chicken cutlet. I haven't got like restaurants where you go and you get the chicken and or any dish and it's like not good. It's like you should be like should be losing sleep to make sure that your chicken is flavorful. You go to a chicken place and like the skin comes off the chicken, all the flavors on top, it's in the skin. And then like the chicken itself is just like bland. You know, what are you doing? I do miss restaurants. I miss people cooking for me. Glad I learned a few recipes. Got this at the supermarket. Oh, man, I'm lonely tonight. Particularly lonely. Just sort of missing some camaraderie, I think. I tell you what I don't miss about people right now. Uh, it's feeling in debt to people. You know, emotionally more than anything. You know, being predator to other people's unresolved issues. Feeling obligated to give my time. I always would put boundaries around my time. And sometimes I felt like I had to lie to people because people can be really selfish with your time. If they thought that they could get more from you, they take it, you know? That's what I always hated about having a job. There was always this sense that when you work for someone, they expect you to they expect to squeeze every bit of time they can out of you because they're paying you and they're not going to pay you for nothing. You know, there are people who believe that because they're giving you money, the money that they know you need to live, they can take advantage of you. They assume that if you need the job, you'll do whatever they ask, no matter how stupid or pointless it is, because after all, they're paying you. You know? I don't miss that. Money created this like really sick relationship with other people. Once someone gives you money, it becomes a trap and it's really hard to escape. You know, I used to hate having a boss breathe down my neck. Ugh. I'd work an 8-hour shift and honestly, I'd probably only worked 2 of those hours. The rest of the time, I just walk around with my clipboard, pretending to be busy. I'd move quickly, you know, like I had somewhere important to be, just to look productive. That's what a boss likes to see. Motion. They want to see you doing something, even when the real work only took like 2 hours, you know. You know, if they catch you sitting, they get pissed. Even if there's nothing left to do, you know? So I'd fake it. I'd walk around, look busy, you know, make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, but they weren't. It's like they'd rather see you miserable and in motion than calm and at ease. Makes no sense. It's like they need to see struggle to feel justified in paying you. So I pretended, because if I didn't, I'd get shit for it, you know? And life is already hard enough, you know? You don't need someone coming down on you for being efficient.
I'm gonna be honest, this really does feel like a video journal.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of droning on, but I guess that's what you do in a video journal.
Yeah,
It must tie into something though. Like I don't. It's like the nesters, like some kind of creature that feeds on something like that. I don't know. Or is he just talking about missing time? Maybe it's just to show what he missed, or whatever. Blah blah blah. Character development.
yeah, it's probably just character development. This is like the first
Yeah,
episode, so yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Oh shit,
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
there's stuff on the
If I
caption.
said that to an employer or a business owner, they probably think I'm the worst type of employee. But
I've
I
seen
mean,
other analog
come on, man.
horror feed then.
Do you expect me to care about selling bullshit plastic products while I'm spending my finite time being here? Yeah. Now, I know it wasn't my boss, you know, personally, but it was what he represented, you know, it was the whole system built so, like, rich people could get richer and everybody else sort of wastes their time.
Is this little bit more blurry than the rest of it? Or am I just going insane? Like right here.
Well, it looks a little bit blurry. Yeah, it is. You're not doing that.
It's
And maybe if I wasn't forced to make money, I'd have time to foster the skills that truly make an impact, but that isn't realistic though. So, as much as I miss my family, um, they kept asking me to get a cell phone. I remember thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not doing that, you know? Because once they knew I had a phone, I'd be available to them all the time. And I don't want to be available to people all the time. Sometimes I'd even lie. I'd say, I'm going to be out when I was actually going to be home, just so I had an excuse not to answer. And, you know, maybe that's selfish. Maybe I just, didn't want to talk. Maybe I just wanted to be left alone. Getting a cell phone felt like it was inviting people into my life on demand, and I didn't want that. Just like, it's not natural for people to have that kind of access to another person.
Honestly, I totally agree with this opinion. Leave me alone. I joke, I joke.
Honestly, I did not really get contacted that much on my phone, so I'm like kind of like
Oh yeah, same.
neutral.
I was just
I
mechanic.
second that. I have phone anxiety.
And I'm pretty sure everybody has phone anxiety sometimes.
I'm like nervous if it's important, but if it was like, oh hey, what's up? Like you're like random ass call. I'm like, I guess if it's random ass call that's like seems important, then I'd probably be like nervous about it. But, kind of depends, I guess. I don't know.
Not to dismiss your concerns, Des. I was just like,
No worries.
anyway, this guy definitely has that stereotypical millennial hipster look, you know?
He does.
All right.
I don't know. That's at least what I think, and I know it's probably comes from an inability to disappoint people. Some would say, "Why don't you just say no if they ask?" But I don't know. Sometimes no doesn't feel like a complete sentence. If I said I wasn't available, they want a reason. And maybe the reason is I just, like, I don't want to talk right now, or I was planning to watch a movie. It sounds small, but it wasn't to me. Just, I wasn't. Maybe that's what I needed, you know? Feels like modern day communication was the thief of life. Now, after a long day, sometimes all I wanted to do to unwind was just, relax. Just relax. But saying I need to relax never felt like a good enough reason to fall short of somebody else's expectations, even though it should have been. So I didn't ask for it, I just took it. And if I had to lie to protect that time, I did. Because I shouldn't have to justify wanting peace. And I know that's avoidant. Maybe that was life challenging me to grow, but sometimes I just don't want to grow. Sometimes I just want to rest. Defeats the purpose of relaxing if I have to grow while doing it. Sometimes I want to say no to the challenge, put a boundary around life itself, which sounds arrogant because it's impossible. And maybe it's a mirror showing me something about myself that, I don't want to see. My unhealthy desire to numb, my avoidance. Maybe it's showing me something deeper. I don't know. Maybe the truth is I really was afraid I was incapable of connecting with other people the way I wanted to. And that I would never feel close to my family and my friends, not the way I wanted to, at least. And maybe that's why I kept telling myself that people only want to use my time, because it's easier to believe that than to imagine that they actually wanted to spend time with me, get to know me. You know, some days the self-hatred really runs so deep, and I still can't picture people actually wanting to talk to me just to talk to me. It's safer to believe that everybody is a time-sucking vampire than to actually risk rejection. That, I don't know when I became so guarded. I never really felt safe around other people. If something bad happened, I never felt safe enough to share the pain with someone else, so I faced it alone. With nowhere to let it out. Build up over years and years until it got so deep, I couldn't tell you where it began or how to talk about it, People would ask me, what's wrong? I'd just say, I don't know. And I used to tell myself that when the pain gets great, when it gets great enough, I'll share. I didn't want to bother anybody. Just felt like, it's not bad enough yet to burden others yet. And then one day, my brother died. And I still couldn't share the pain. That excuse to keep putting it off, it's bottomless. it won't end until I make a beginning. And that loneliness, it just breeds anger, blame, bitterness. I'd given anything to let that go. I just didn't know how. So when I'm alone, I don't have to face any of that, you know? I'm not disturbed. So anyway, I have my affirmation that I tell myself every day and preparing me for when I see other people again. And it goes like this: I am likable and I attract genuine connection. So I say that to myself every day. Pretty good, right? But when people enter the picture, everything surfaces: resentment, worry, doubt, fear. Giving my time forced me to confront all of that. And it pushes me to speak up when staying quiet would just feel so much more comfortable and safer. So, yeah, I'm protective of my time. Not a good that's doing me now. And it's really because anything that wants to take it also stirs up everything that I'm still trying to keep buried. Anyway, that's it. Alright, I think it's time to hit the hay. Oh, it's been a long day. That was a tasty meal. Gotta have 2 chins. Oh. Alright. See you in the morning.
Forgot we're on, man.
How much battery life does this thing have?
I have no fucking clue. Oh shit, is something actually scary happening?
I mean, I get that it was like a vlog style thing, but it was a little bit long winded, to be honest.
Yeah, it was actually pretty long.
That's fine. That's definitely
You
fine.
could have just like had the footage cut out like halfway through his speech, and you would have got the same point probably. You know,
I think so. Holy shit!
I don't see anything. Just see flashing.
God! No, I'm reacting to the audio, because holy shit.
Oh shit! What was that?
Some nasty business.
I wonder what that creature looked like. Nah, it's kind of like a humanoid, I guess. So I guess we know they look like humans, but you know, in what way, I am not entirely sure.
That straight up could have just been a dude.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, who the fuck knows? Oh, wait, before we move on to episode 2, I guess, any thoughts you have on episode 1 you want to spout off real quick that you couldn't say before?
I don't know. It was again. I think it's very long winded on that speech. It was just like kind of just like da 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 da, and it's like kind of just. I mean, I think I got the point like halfway through maybe in the speech. Maybe just cut the footage for a second, skip through a little bit. I think that could have been used as an effective tactic, and it shows it's still like a genuine thing. But it's like, oh, the footage got corrupted or some shit like that. I don't know.
I think the speech was a good thing in concept, but it definitely was a bit too long-winded. I think they should have just made it shorter, but I will also say that it's definitely something
Like,
someone would say in an apocalypse scenario like this one.
yeah, I mean, my problem isn't with the concept itself. It's with, like, it just took way too damn long.
Yeah, it did take way too damn long. Des, any thoughts?
No, not really. Seemed interesting.
All right, cool. Also, the first episode is like twice as long as the other episodes, which I
Probably because
find.
the speech was like, it's probably because the speech was like that long.
Oh yeah, totally. Ooh,
The
hey there.
speech was like 75% of the runtime, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's
Yeah.
description stuff.
Oh. Is there
Four,
like ARG shit? Probably. I don't know.
yeah,
Probably.
4 years ago, a team of researchers unearthed a series of tapes buried in the wilderness of Pennsylvania. After review by police and investigators, the footage was passed to my archival team. So this is the guy who's uploading. The tapes follow a man who appears to be completely alone, aside from strange encounters with figures he calls nesters. He spends his days scavenging, squatting in abandoned homes, and searching the northeastern plains for answers. The timestamps are corrupted, showing dates that haven't occurred. I've edited the footage for public release in hopes someone might recognize him. From what I can tell, this man has vanished into a reality that has never occurred or has yet to occur. If this is a hoax, it's the most elaborate I've ever seen. If it's not, then where is he? Please contact the Center for Archival Investigation. That's interesting.
All right, but at the same time, anybody can fake it with like CGI and stuff. You can't really. I mean,
I mean, yeah, but that's kind of part of the charm of analog horror. Like, ooh, this could absolutely be real or it could be CGI.
well, yeah, I mean, definitely. But I was just pointing that out. It's not like a fault of the series.
Yeah.
I get the feeling, got the
Man, I'm lonely tonight. Particularly lonely. Just sort of missing some camaraderie, I think.
Bro, this is just the entire speech again.
I tell you what I don't
about to
miss
crash
about people
out.
right now.
Can we
Ah,
just 2 times speed it?
it's feeling in debt to people. You know, emotionally more than anything.
Alright,
How about we
well,
2 times speed it? And
You know,
whenever
being
it
predator to other
reaches something,
people's
we
unresolved
pause.
issues. Feeling
yeah,
obligated to give my time.
alright. It's 2x speed now.
I always would put boundaries around my time. And sometimes I felt like I had to lie to people because people can be really selfish with your time. If they thought that they could get more from you, they take it. You know? That's what I always
I
hated
don't
about
want to
having a
listen to
job.
this
There was
again.
always this sense that
Should we just
when you
like
work for
skip
someone,
through it? I don't
they
know.
expect
We
you
might
to
miss stuff.
they expect to
That's the
squeeze every bit
annoying
of
part.
time they can out of you because
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
paying you, and they're not going to pay you for nothing. You know, there are people who believe that because they're giving you money, the money that they know you need to live, they can take advantage of you. They assume that if you need a job, you'll do whatever they ask, no matter how stupid or pointless it is, because after all, they're paying you. You know, I don't miss that. Money created this like really sick relationship.
Is the first episode like a proof of concept? And the
Is this like
second.
a time loop? I mean, that's what I
No,
assumed.
I'm thinking the first one might be some kind of proof of concept or like the original idea behind the series, and the second one is like the finalized version of it, or maybe just the speech for whatever reason. Because the one on the first episode, The Nesters Found Me, was an actual description and not like an ARG aspect.
Nah, but I kind of doubt that, cause I don't know, the other parts were kind of good where he was like cooking the thing or whatever. It was kind of okay, and like it was. I mean, I feel like the first episode actually happened, and this is like some kind of crazy time loop. Like, who knows, man? I don't know.
Alright, neither do I. How about we just watch it and try and really focus on the stuff, see if anything strange happens.
With other people. Once someone gives you money, it becomes a trap and it's really hard to escape. You know, I used to hate having a boss breathe down my neck. Ugh. I'd work an 8-hour shift, and honestly, probably only worked 2 of those hours. The rest of the time, I just walk around with my clipboard, pretending to be busy. I'd move quickly, you know, like I had somewhere important to be, just to look productive.
That spec is
That's
still
what a boss likes to see. Motion. They want to see you doing something, even when the real work only took like 2 hours, you know. If they catch you sitting, they get pissed, even if there's nothing left to do, you know. So I'd fake it. I'd walk around, look busy, you know, make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, but they weren't. It's like they'd rather see you miserable and in motion than calm and at ease. Makes no sense. It's like they need to see struggle to feel justified in paying you. So I pretended, because if I didn't, I'd get shit for it, you know. And life is already hard enough, you know. You don't need someone coming down on you for being efficient, you know. Now I know if I said that to an employer or a business owner, they'd probably think I'm the worst type of employee. But I mean, come on, man. Do you expect me to care about selling bullshit plastic products while I'm spending my finite time being here? You know. I know it wasn't my boss, you know, personally. But it was what he represented, you know. It was the whole system built so like rich people could get richer and everybody else sort of wastes their time. And maybe if I wasn't forced to make money, I'd have time to foster the skills that truly make an impact. But that isn't realistic, though. So as much as I miss my family, they kept asking me to get a cell phone. I remember thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not doing that, you know? Because once they knew I had a phone, I'd be available to them all the time. And I want to be available to people all the time. Sometimes I'd even lie. I'd say, I'm going to be out when I was actually going to be home, just so I had an excuse not to answer. And, you know, maybe that's selfish. Maybe I just, you know, didn't want to talk. Maybe I just wanted to be left alone. Getting a cell phone felt like it was inviting people into my life on demand, and I didn't want that. Just like, it's not natural for people to have that kind of access to another person. I don't know, that's at least what I think. And I know, it probably comes from an inability to disappoint people. Some would say, why don't you just say no if they ask? But I don't know, sometimes no doesn't feel like a complete sentence. If I said I wasn't available, they want a reason. And maybe the reason is I don't want to talk right now, you know? Or I was planning to watch a movie. You know, it sounds small, but it wasn't to me. So it wasn't. Maybe that's what I needed, you know? It feels like modern day communication was the thief of life. And after a long day, sometimes all I wanted to do to unwind was just, you know, relax. Just relax. But saying I need to relax never felt like a good enough reason to fall short of somebody else's expectations, you know, even though it should have been. So I didn't ask for it, I just took it. And if I had to lie to protect that time, I did, because I shouldn't have to justify wanting peace. And I know, that's avoidant. Maybe that was life challenging me to grow, but sometimes I just don't want to grow. Sometimes I just want to rest. It defeats the purpose of relaxing if I have to grow while doing it. You know, sometimes I want to say no to the challenge, put a boundary around life itself, which sounds arrogant because it's impossible. You know, maybe it's a mirror showing me something about myself that, you know, I don't want to see, my unhealthy desire to numb my avoidance. Maybe it's showing me something deeper, I don't know. Maybe the truth is I really was afraid I was incapable of connecting with other people the way I wanted to. And that I would never feel close to my family and my friends, not the way I wanted to. At least, you know, maybe that's why I kept telling myself that people only want to use my time, because it's easier to believe that than to imagine that they actually wanted to spend time with me, get to know me. Some days the self-hatred really runs so deep, and I still can't picture people actually wanting to talk to me just to talk to me. It's safer to believe that everybody is a time-sucking vampire than to actually risk rejection. I don't know when I became so guarded. I never really felt safe around other people. You know, something bad happened. I never felt safe enough to share the pain with someone else, so I faced it alone. With nowhere to let it out. Built up over years and years until it got so deep, I couldn't tell you where it began, or how to talk about it, you know? People would ask me, what's wrong? I'd just say, I don't know. And I used to tell myself that when the pain gets great, when it gets great enough, I'll share. I didn't want to bother anybody. It just felt like, you know, it's not bad enough yet to burden others yet. And then one day, my brother died, and I still couldn't share the pain. That excuse to keep putting it off, it's bottomless. It won't end until I make a beginning. And that loneliness, it just breeds anger blame, bitterness. I could have given anything to let that go. I just didn't know how. So when I'm alone, I don't have to face any of that, you know? I'm not disturbed. So anyway, I have my affirmation that I tell myself every day, and preparing me for when I see other people again. And it goes like this: I am likable and I attract genuine connection. So I say that to myself every day, pretty good, right? But when people enter the picture, everything surfaces: resentment, worry, doubt, fear. Giving my time forced me to confront all of that. And it pushes me to speak up when staying quiet would just feel so much more comfortable and safer. So yeah, I'm protective of my time. Not a good that's doing me now. And it's really because anything that wants to take it also stirs up everything that I'm still trying to keep buried. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, so this is a very psychological series, I'm guessing at. I wish Zapper was here to like psychoanalyze this guy. I feel like that would be
How long have we
interesting.
been on the speech still? Like, how many minutes is this?
Yeah, he was at 2x speed. A spoiler frame.
God.
Okay, I think
Honestly,
this
it was just a
episode
little bit.
might be way more interesting.
Okay. Day 4, squatting in this abandoned
Oh,
house.
son of a bitch. I didn't want.
Wait, what happened with the other episode?
Yeah, we just
Was it
watched
was
the.
that just his whole
Yeah, that was
was it just
just.
his whole speech?
Yeah, it was just his whole speech. I think it might have just
That was
been a
so
repost.
boring. Ugh, that's so dumb. That was such a waste of time.
I don't know, man.
Honestly, that's kind of shitty.
Maybe.
I mean, it must have some kind of like I don't know, story reason or whatever.
They could have
It's
just
just
wanted
it's
to
still really
upload it.
boring.
No, it
Yeah.
did kind of have a story reason. The description told us what the fuck was going on in universe.
What did it say again? Mm,
It was basically just a notice trying to find out who the fuck this guy is.
Wait, no. Well, that was on the first episode. What was on the second
No, the
one?
first episode was just a description of the series and the video. The second episode, the speech video, did have the notice. Alright, the description has more story stuff. I'm gonna read it. Uh, I have watched these tapes countless times, especially when editing them, to the point where everything blurs together. I need fresh, sharp eyes to take a look and notice anything I might have missed. Do you see anything that tells us more about where he is or theories about this voided world? Please comment below. Archive entry 002 follows the subject during his third month of isolation as he discovers a hand-drawn map leading to several empty places that once served as hubs for human activity. This recovered footage documents a high risk excursion through a desolate shopping mall, the subterranean tunnels of Concourse B, and a taxidermy museum where the boundary between life and stillness begins to blur. As the subject navigates these liminal spaces and encounters the entity he calls Mr. Whiteout, the recording captures the haunting silence of a quiet apocalypse. For viewers interested in world building, survival fiction, found footage, and analog horror, this tape provides critical data on how the subject maintains his perimeter against the ever present threat of a Nestor infestation. Signing off, the archivist. Man, I didn't like the last bit. Didn't really feel as in universe as the other one.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, but
Yeah, whatever.
whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. There's also shorts. So after this, we can probably take a look at those.
Day 4, squatting in this abandoned house.
Oh shit, did you see that?
I haven't seen another person in 81 days.
The thing
A
chasing.
couple days ago, I decided to suit up and head north into the surrounding hills. All right, we're heading out, so I hope I don't die. I found a map here, barely intact, but enough to help me navigate what was ahead. Man, it is very chilly out today.
Pretty sure that was a motion, so we didn't capture other people walking around.
I also keep my CB radio set to directional and gives me some warning if there's some danger within 5 miles. So if I hear anything, I change course. Yeah, I don't trust that. So
So do the nesters cause some kind of static interference with the radio?
I don't know. I mean, who else would be doing that? Another person? Obviously, they're not here.
Alright, yeah.
I'm
Unless there
definitely
are other
gonna
people, and
veer.
that's the plot twist. That's the only two options I can see. It's just like, oh, nesters can do that, or like another creature, or oh, it's like there's another human interfering with it, and it's kind of a thing. You know?
Yeah, I see those as all pretty good possibilities.
In a different direction. The map led me to 3 different locations: the mall, an underground concourse, and some type of museum. Places that used to be crowded. Yeah. The suburbs are empty, that's for sure. Rows of houses, all vacant, so I thought, if anybody's still out there, they'd be here.
So, what I find interesting is that either the nesters made the map, or there's possibly another person around, or was another person around that didn't make the map. This also feeds into the psychology of this guy going to places that were once crowded in like an attempt to connect with people, if that makes sense. Alright, I'll continue the thing.
Yes, I don't really have much to say. My bad.
Nah, it's cool. That's a nice mug.
When I reached the first location, I felt pretty optimistic.
Hopefully something scary happens. So that's the guy screaming his shit off at the end of the first one. Bro, why would you leave your camera? That's like the one.
I was gonna get killed off screen.
Yeah, cameraman number
No
9. That's what you
explanation.
gotta have
So
with
far,
camera.
not very promising.
I mean, that's not true in a horror movie.
Depends. Imagine if you just get snatched off screen.
Unfortunately, I think this place is pretty empty. There's not much here. It really puts me on edge that I can see everything and there's really no place to hide here. Let me go see if I can find out where that sound is coming from. Alright, let's see if any of these doors lead to a bunker full of custodians. I don't know.
That shot with him down the hallway was actually really cinematic. I liked it.
These are all locked. Well, I wish I had some quarters. Can't believe these are still running. Little helicopter. Man, this like really makes me hungry because there's a food court here. Makes me think of like Nathan's hot dogs or something. I could really go for one. Don't think that's gonna happen. No offense, but this looks like a shitty place to work in its day. At least I see no nesters.
See some nesters.
Me too.
We're getting closer.
Yeah, but you know, probably take a lot of budget. Going to dental care services. Okay.
Seems like where it's coming
Gonna
from.
have some teeth pulled out. Pin the camera, dude. You're gonna get so destroyed.
Like the
There's
cameras
absolutely nothing in there. That
parked
was
here, man. You
a
can't
recording
just leave it around.
of someone who I think has
At
been
least
here
drop
in
the
the
camera when you
past.
die or whatever. I don't think he's dying though, probably. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll die.
Now that sprinkler system's still on, man. That's crazy.
A little bit.
I
Gotta get a
spent
whole ass
around
empty
an
mall.
hour and a half exploring the mall. It was getting pretty late, and I needed to keep moving. I also saw a figure that I've encountered before moving towards me. I call him Mr. Whiteout. He sounds harmless, but I don't know, something in me just doesn't trust him. My next stop is a series of underground tunnels called Concourse B.
Oh, yeah. Mental shit.
I expected public transit, you know, trains connecting nearby towns. But instead, I found passageways linking offices, food courts, state buildings, things like that. With the parking structures below, it must have been packed with workers at some point moving beneath the city.
Interesting. I've never heard of something like this.
Oh, I'm so hungry. You can get really cornered in one of those kitchens, or else I'd fry up a deluxe.
I wonder if like his hunger is related to the nest.
I don't think I'm going to go too deep into this because it's very maze-like, and I don't want to get lost and not be able to get back outside.
Like he's in the pre-stages of becoming one.
Little painting. It's beautiful.
That is not a little painting.
Yeah, I should get out of here. At this point, it was getting pretty dark, and I was 3 hours from home. I had a little fun on the way to the next location, and then, I don't know what I was thinking, because it started to get dark out. Woo! It's like I lost 2 hours of my time.
Come on down to Yuppie's Ice Cream for your free sample now.
I deserve ice cream. Like, I was playing with my radio and acting like an idiot. It's too late to walk back. I was lucky. Some of the towns I passed through still had working electricity. I assume they were connected to some industrial-sized power center that hadn't yet failed. When I got far from the cities, the darkness was pretty blinding. I hadn't seen a landmark in over an hour, and, out of the darkness now, it appeared. It wasn't ideal, but I needed shelter. At any moment, I could have run into a nester, so I had to do something. So I slept inside the enclosed slide. It was not comfortable, but it worked. When I woke, I continued on my travels. The last place I visited was the taxidermy house. It used to be a family attraction. Walking through it now, I kept mistaking the stillness for life. Everything looked alive, but it wasn't. Just empty forms stuffed with microfiber.
That's just depressing.
Hello, Mammoth. Don't worry. Not gonna take your little cub or whatever you call it. Hello. Hey, there's some guys doing some work over here. I feel like this guy would really hate me if he was alive. Okay, I think we're leaving the jungle. What is this, like Aquatic World or something? One little room for the entire ocean, that's pretty generous. Oh, Model T. Wouldn't mind taking this puppy out for a spin. Alright, I'm gonna get going. As I walked home, I thought about nesters. I really don't know much about them. only that they can shift from calm to hostile in seconds. Once they settle somewhere, infestation usually follows. I've encountered that. They look human, but something is off about them. Something is just not normal. I'm glad to be back home in front of this warm fire with this mug of hot cocoa. I didn't find anyone, no, but maybe tomorrow I'll head south toward the water. Anyway.
I think this is a much more psychological than physical horror series, since we don't see the nesters a lot.
Are they those weird white creatures?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the nesters.
Honestly,
Definitely,
the series is just a little bit too slow for me, to be honest.
honestly, I think if it just sped up in a couple places, it would be a really good psychological build up to like a nester attack on the guy.
Weeks.
Is there any other? What? Is this the same one? Or,
No, this is one of their shorts. They have like 32 shorts compared to their 3 videos.
I just think the pacing is like just way too slow. I was low key kind of bored.
Yeah,
I
we
mean, I get it, blah
definitely.
blah blah, attention span, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
this,
blah blah
but like
blah that, blah blah blah
at the
that.
at the
But
same
like,
time, like it's just I want stuff to be like kind of happening, not just like kind of. It's just too slow. I'm bored.
I can appreciate the artistic intention, but yeah, some things are just a little too slow.
Like you can have some moments where it's just like, give me a freaking minute.
Feels like my day 4 squatting in this abandoned house. I haven't seen another person in 81 days. A couple days ago, I decided to suit up.
Oh shit, no.
Day 4 squatting in this abandoned house.
Is Des still here?
Yeah, Dez is still here.
Hmm.
I
I'm
concur.
still here.
Honestly, I think this video format could definitely work. I just chose a poor starting series. Like, maybe it'll get interesting later on when more stuff is posted.
I hope so. How many minutes do we have of this podcast?
We have 1 hour, 10 minutes. Yeah, I say that's good.
I think like low key gotta go in like a few minutes because like I feel like if I keep talking, I'm gonna wake up my family or whatever.
Damn. Alright, so goodbye everyone. Tell us your thoughts about this video format in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also
Wait,
hype the video.
is this the end?
Yeah, this is the end.
Oh, yeah, like, subscribe.
All that jazz.
Yeah,
I don't know why I say that. I've been told it boosts things in the algorithm.
I hope it does.
Me too.
I sure hope it does.
Alright.
Stay irrelevant.
Yeah, stay irrelevant.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. I gotta go.
Night.